you a fan of this podcast? Do you wish there was even more juicy content for you to sink your ears into? Well, there is. You can become a premium member of this podcast for $5.99 a month and get full access to an archive of over 50 bonus episodes. Additionally, we release a bonus episode every single month. That's a ton of extra content, including my personal interior design diaries, extra tips, my talking about trends, and so much more. Additionally, you'll be keeping us on the airwaves each and every week because your premium membership money goes directly back to making this podcast amazing. Check us out at affordableinteriordesign.com. Click on podcast to learn more and to become a premium member today.
You don't need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
Hi, everyone. I am here today with a person who has recently completed our Academy program, Kate Clemente. And I thought that her story was so inspiring that I wanted to share it with a lot of you because people have asked me about the Academy. And I think the best way to get some insight into what people are learning and what they're getting out of it is to talk to someone who's recently completed it. So, Kate, welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am probably older than the most of the people who've gone through the Academy or are considering the Academy, which is part of my inspiration to be here and talk with you today, is to let everybody know that it's never too late. But I am a mother of 4 children. My youngest are all just graduating from college. I have 3 grandchildren, and I just recently made a very huge career change. So I was a yoga teacher. Still am. I'll never stop being a yoga teacher. But I was a yoga teacher and decided to pursue interior design.
Well, and that is what I think is so inspiring is people can bring their backgrounds to their new design business, and it will help inform the type of client who's attracted to you. You know, so you have a background in teaching, and I don't have a background in teaching, but I have a love of it. And I do think then you can tell your clients about the why. You're more used to informing them. So maybe your style of design might be similar to mine in that you're telling people more about the intention behind the movement. Like, if we move your bed, it's going to feel more restful because. So I find that teaching element to be invaluable because everybody, if this is a second or third or fourth career, is coming to it with background experiences that can be very valuable.
Absolutely. And I think, too, not just the teaching part of it, but the actual yoga practice part of it for me really inspires my design. I'm really noticing when I look at people who want to change what they're doing and do some updates, and we move from that to something new. My design is, a little bit more subdued in color in the background palette, and then just the pops of color so that you can change based on your inspiration, the time of life, things like that a little bit easier. But I really find that my yoga inspires so much of my design, my intention behind my design.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that. I mean, my past career, my bartending doesn't really inspire too much of my design that directly, but it's nice when something like that can,
Yeah.
Well, let's move into why you were drawn to the Academy. What pulled you towards this program?
So I absolutely love podcasts. I, much like you, which I think made me feel like we were kindred spirits when I first heard your podcast, I love true crime and listened to a lot of those podcasts. And I don't even know how I happened upon your podcast. And once I started listening, I couldn't stop listening. And I found myself answering the questions to your listeners' questions before you did, just to see if I was, on point. And I just would have a lot of fun with that. And I just couldn't stop listening. And then I heard about the Academy. So I actually started immediately. I was counting the days until you dropped the first module in October last year. So it was perfect timing, and absolutely loved my experience.
Well, I do think that it was really exciting for that first wave of people who signed up for the Academy because they were waiting. They were chomping at the bit. They were enthusiastic and dove right in and devoured the modules. And that's one way to do it, right? Like you did. But it's another way to spread it out, to take your time. That's the beauty of the program, is that life happens. Pandemics happen. For me, last week, hurricanes happened, and it's nice to be able to say, I need to adapt this to my lifestyle.
Well, I mean, and what happened in the middle of, I signed up in October, the holidays hit. And so it was nice to not have to feel the pressure of assignments being due at a certain time and going at your own pace during those different times in life where things change, your schedule changes, and you might have to attend to other things. So it was really amazing to have that opportunity to kind of set your own pace, for sure.
So tell us, what's the most valuable thing you've gotten from the Academy? If you had to distill it down, if you had to.
Oh boy. For me personally, I think that what I gained was a lot of confidence, and the support that I gained from not only you, which has been amazing, Paulina, and also the other students. Our Facebook group is amazing. When we have our question and answer sessions, just through that, the curriculum is the curriculum, and you can look at the curriculum and you can be inspired by it, and you can memorize it, you can learn it. But it's that, giving that confidence then to pull it off. I really gained that from everybody at the Academy, and I'm really grateful for that. So for me, it was definitely confidence. Again, being much older than everybody else by probably a good 20 years.
I don't know about that. Have you?
Yeah. My 52nd birthday is this next week. So
well, happy birthday.
Thank you. But I wasn't confident. I don't know a lot about technology. I joke to people and say when I was in high school, computers were the size of a closet. So I didn't grow up having those devices or having social media or, learning that way. So for me, it's been a really big learning curve, and to have the support again through all of that, to gain the confidence in using technology, and then gain the confidence to say, hey, I do have a talent and I'm ready to show it.
Because in order to be a contemporary interior designer in these times, to be taken seriously, you do need to know technology. You must know a floor plan software. You must create mood boards online. People no longer want those tactile swatches. They want to see something a little bit more blingy. And so I think having those skills helps you to take yourself seriously and puts you in the game. So how did you find learning those technologies, considering it wasn't your forte?
It was a little frustrating, but again, the support that I had from the Academy, I have incredible support of my family too, and I'm really, really blessed with that. I have a husband who's kind of a partner in my business with me, so he's not technology either, but he would, if I would find myself being frustrated, he would say, my youngest children are 22. So perfect age, and I would reach out to their friends or to them and ask them to give me a hand and just, guide me through this a little bit. And, they speak my language because they've known me, my children, of course, but their friends have known me most of their lives as well. And my daughter's best friend was instrumental in, I'm going to give a shout out to her, Jordan Weber. She's a brilliant social media marketing whiz. So she really helped me a lot. So I just reached out.
And it takes a village. It can take a village. But also, some people aren't so lucky to have such a supportive family. Some people are kind of taking a leap of faith by themselves. And I do think that's where the Facebook community comes in, because everyone in there is so warm, so generous. And the lovely thing about them is they all come from different backgrounds. So we were on a Q&A yesterday, and this amazing student, Bart, was giving us all sorts of great accounting advice about current programs and what's available to us during the pandemic. And he's just so generous. And then we have another lady, Ashley, who's in marketing, and she offered up her skills. She also does graphic design. We have another one, Mindy, who's offered her graphic design skills. So it's just a place of generosity, because I had somebody ask me yesterday on an academy call, you're starting this group of people who are all going to be empowered and going to work or know your way and maybe work a similar way or adapt it to themselves. You're creating competitors, and not only competitors for your firm, but competitors for each other. And I said, there's enough to go around. There's enough to go around for everyone, and helping people's dreams come true is so much more valuable to me than losing out on one potential client. Plus, you guys are also different. So Emily had the beautiful analogy of the bread aisle at the grocery store, but your energy is different than my energy. And that's going to appeal to some clients, and other clients, my clients, I'm a little high strung, and my clients are a little high strung. We're in an urban environment. They don't mind me being sassy, whereas you might have a different approach that would appeal. Even within my own firm, I choose what client goes with which designer, oftentimes based on personality, vibe, who's going to mesh best with who. And I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and the way that we work is not everyone's cup of tea. So I truly feel there's enough for everyone. And lighting someone's candle does not extinguish your flame, to use an old analogy. And I truly feel that.
Oh, I absolutely believe in that also. Your method is invaluable, I think, for anybody who is considering this as a career choice, because it's clear and concise, and it really at least gives you the start. Like you said, it might adapt to the way that you work, or you might adapt to that. But it is just incredible, and that gives you the support too. I mean, it really gives you that support to get started.
Yeah, exactly. You start with foundation. You can use my foundation, and then you can let it adapt and evolve to who you are and the services you want to do. Because part of starting an interior design business is trial and error. You try something. I started by doing full-scale renovations. I did 2 of those in New York City, like gutting a bathroom, gutting a kitchen. I was like, oh, hell no. I don't want to deal with the permits, the red tape. When we opened the pre-war wall, we found things that you don't want to find, and it took exponentially more time to deal with those issues. So you have to sometimes just try something on for size and pick and choose which components fit best.
Absolutely. I remember when you and I first met, I told you about my husband, and you were the first one that said, I really see this being something for you and your husband to do together. And so as expected, we are working more and more together, and we actually are doing more on the renovation side, but that was our background. That was my background coming into this, helping all of my friends and family do things. And then we bought a home and gutted it completely and put it back together. And it was that said, you have to do this. And so, we're finding our favor, but without that foundation of knowing what the method is, it helps you to be organized. It helps you to meet with the client to be able to answer those questions, that they might have. It feels like it legitimizes you.
And tell us a little bit more about what your husband does, so people have a context for that.
So he, by career, is a firefighter, and most firefighters have side business. Before he was a firefighter, he was a mason, concrete mason. He did flat work. Always continued having a little side business doing that. Got more and more into doing tile. Got more and more into doing carpentry, and so he has forever. He's been a firefighter for 25 years, and all of those 25 years has continued to work in the trades. So we just kind of brought it together.
And I think it is great for people who are thinking about the academy to think about those partnerships, whether it's the partner in your living room, if maybe your partner is in real estate, could that be a synergistic relationship? Maybe your partner is a lawyer and then could help give you advice about starting your business and establishing yourself. I mean, all these links and relationships can prove very valuable in truly any field, but certainly in this field. And I think sometimes people overlook that. Like, who's sitting right next to you? What do they have to offer?
Yes, definitely. Open up and listen. Let it in and let them support you and let them be part of it.
Totally. And then, not only will it help you to be more successful, it'll help you to feel more supported. You're tapping into their zone of genius and they're helping you to discover yours.
For sure. Yeah, my joke on my website is that my husband can bring to life anything that I imagine in my head.
That's amazing.
It's really true, so yeah.
Well, now tell us, a lot of people are thinking about the Academy. What advice would you give someone who's thinking about plunging into something totally new?
Just do it. Just do it. What do you have to lose? You might gain some knowledge. You're definitely going to gain some knowledge. But there's no risk. There's nothing to lose. It's an amazing experience. And tap into your passions. Go find that dream. Go get it. There should be nothing. And as we're learning in these times, why? You don't know what's going to happen around the corner, right? Turn those passions into dreams. Turn those dreams into realities. And
that's exactly right.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you've been thinking about it, if it's been on your mind, if you thought about exploring it, time and time again, I'm hearing that people's parents told them there was no money in it, or they couldn't see how they could make a living. And, the landscape has totally changed. 15 years ago, I don't think you could have made a living in online interior design, and now it's completely different, especially with the pandemic. Online interior design is now 50% of our business. Before, it was 5% of our business. People are now, can we just work online instead of you coming over? And we're like, yes, because I can stay in my pajamas. I can take one client after another with no commute. Like, it's beautiful. So I just think now more than ever, if this is a vocation that calls to you, people need this help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, the support that you gain through the Academy, it's amazing.
And now it's time for a quick commercial break. Do you love this podcast? Do you wish you could learn even more? Well, we have an online class bundle. Our online class bundle is comprised of 3 online classes: beautifying your home for less, styling your home, and the fundamentals of feng shui. Each one of those 3 classes is between 30 and 45 minutes long and chock filled with visuals and tips, things that will help you to style your own space or help out with other spaces. Additionally, with the pack of 3 classes, you get an autographed copy of my book, Affordable Interior Design. You get all of that for only $99. Once again, that's the 3 online classes as well as the book for only $99. You just go to affordableinteriordesign.com/classes. Once again, affordableinteriordesign.com/classes to buy your bundle today. And if one of those classes sounded intriguing, but maybe you already have my book or some of the other topics are not of interest, you can buy the classes individually at that site as well. Each class is $40. So head over to affordableinteriordesign.com/classes to get your bundle or your online class today.
Tell us briefly about your journey from where you were at the beginning of the Academy to where you feel you are now.
I think that it feels seamless. It feels like I can tap into my creativity, let my passion drive that creativity, but now I found a way to bring it into the real world and how to bring it to paper through learning the technology, through learning the method, through learning all of the idiosyncrasies of how you put a design together with your mood boards and what software to use and, the layout plan, all of it. I work much faster. And I truly believe that what I see in my head now, I actually can bring it to life. And so that's a big difference from where I started. I would dream of all of these things and think, I could never do that. And now here I am, 5 big projects in the works, and off I go.
That's amazing. And tell us more about that. Tell us where you are now. Like you mentioned, you have 5 projects in the works. What does that look like?
It looks like a lot of work. So a complete renovation, which, like we had anticipated, would be probably where my husband and I were. But so complete renovation, but on top of that complete renovation, now I can sell good design packages and furnishing their homes and making it. I think we can build the structure and make a home flow and function in a way that works for the family living there. But now I can come in also and make it cozy and feel like a home rather than a house.
And they've already established this relationship with you. They don't want to hire another vendor. They want to keep the ball rolling. They feel comfortable with you. They feel like you understand their style and understand their home inside and out, right? And you can just keep it going. And, I do want us to have our business hats on. That's a beautiful organic growth, but it's also an upcharge, an up level for your own self. This is an add-on that you can offer that really sets your husband apart from other builders, right?
For sure. And I think that me being a designer sets me apart, having somebody who can come in and say, oh, really? I could move that wall? I thought I was just going to be buying a new sofa. No, let's take the wall out, buy a sofa, put, other furniture here, or open up your kitchen, and then your furniture that we buy will even flow better. Your whole life will flow better. So I think it just really works hand in hand. Great partnership.
I think that's amazing. I need one of those, like an uncle down the street or something like that, because that is an amazing asset that most of us have to outsource and pay for. So good for you for seizing that opportunity.
Very, very fortunate.
Well, it has been such a pleasure, Kate. I really appreciate you joining us. I've been so proud watching you go through the academy, watching you complete it, and now launch your thing.
I launched on June 1st.
That's awesome. So please tell us where everyone can find you. Where can they learn more about you? What if they want to hire you? How can they contact you, Kate?
My business is Simply Inspired Design by KC. And my website is the same, simplyinspireddesignbykc.com.
Wonderful. And is there anything else you want to share with our listeners before we sign off today?
I think I would just say, if you're thinking about this, just do it. You will not be disappointed, and you will love all of the people who are associated with it, and they will be lifelong friends and lifelong mentors and lifelong support. So just do it. Nothing to be afraid of. I was really excited to talk with you and tell you about what was going on for me. It is unreal. It is unbelievable. I'm doing exactly what I didn't ever think I'd be doing, which is I was hired by somebody who downsized to a condominium and sold all of their furniture with their home and need the whole place refurnished.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they're like, we need all new light fixtures, and we don't like the fireplace, and we're taking out this carpeting, and we need you to do all of it. And by the way, the basement is unfinished, and we want you guys to finish the basement too.
Oh my gosh.
It is the questionnaire, that was one thing that you taught me, the questionnaire, because I did not know these people. They were referred by a contractor that I know who liked everything he's ever seen that I've done, and he gave them my card. And so you have to call her, because they didn't want to work with the designer that they worked with before.
Yeah.
They have executive rentals, turnkey executive rentals too, that they'll continue to invest in. So that's a future opportunity. And they're just like head over heels with the things that I'm bringing to them. So
I love it. Well, keep that relationship. That sounds like gold, but also make sure you're charging appropriately.
I actually, you're going to be really proud of me. I'm charging 15% of their entire budget.
That's amazing.
Which is
significant.
$350,000.
Oh my God.
So,
Kate.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, this is like something that designers dream of years into their career,
Well, and I love that, you take that leap and you don't know what's on the other side. And sometimes it's bigger than you imagined, right?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It was through the questionnaire that I learned the scope of the project. And then we had our consultation call, and I'm working the plan, even though this job is big and it's pretty custom,
Yeah.
We're picking out fabrics to have the sofas made and things like that. But for me, that's fun.
Yeah.
I love that stuff too. I don't have to stay within the confines of a budget, really.
Oh my God, stop rubbing it in, Kate.
No, but see, I have two
I'm
other
shopping
people
Target tonight.
I've been shopping Wayfair and Amazon for another person. So I don't know if I told you, we turned a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with an office without having to put an addition on, because Clyde and I could figure out the space, and 100% am working our program. Because I have to source things that are within their budget. They just had a new baby through this pandemic. I mean, it's just a crazy situation, and it's really fun because it's challenging too, Like,
And
look at this lamp from Target. It's really adorable and great in Taryn's room,
Yep.
So I'm doing both.
And then you can feel with a situation like that it's really going to make a difference for their family. That's going to deeply impact them every single day. The new layout, the things you were able to do, the fact that you were able to stay within their budget so they're not stressed later. I mean, so I hope you feel that part too, because that is really where I tap into like that joy.
I get goosebumpy. I really do. Like, I took carpet samples over to this big client, and he said, I just love watching Kate and how excited she gets, when she shows me a sample of something, or we talk about picking out the new fireplace, or look at this fabric for the headboard, it's so beautiful. And they just love watching, my excitement and my enthusiasm, because I know how peaceful and tranquil their bedroom is going to be if we put it all together that way. So, and they trust me, so that's a big deal. So another client, I'm just doing updates. No moving of walls, just changing out some light fixtures, picking out different paint colors, and refurnishing some things, moving a lot of existing stuff around. So I'm doing the whole scope of the whole design thing.
Well, I love it. I love it. And this is your next academy, right? Actually doing the projects is really, I mean, you have to have a foundation to get there, but this will be the best education, right?
It really is. I never, ever could have even gotten to this place or know what to do without the academy. I wouldn't have had any idea what to do.
But hearing these details, it really makes it more tangible. And so I'm so impressed with you.
Well, thank you for all of your support and making me realize that I could do the technology thing, and really helping and guiding me through a lot of the business stuff. Yep. So I did have to go ahead and get a sales tax number and seller's permit. I did have to do that. I didn't want to do that for the accounting. I totally was on board with you with all of that, but
there's a lot of softwares that can make that very easy nowadays. So don't be afraid of it, because the upside can be mucho money, but it is it's next level. Well, you're at the next level, Kate. So I am really proud of you, and you're going to keep in touch. You're going to keep me posted.
Oh, please, yes, I hope so, and keep in touch with me.
Of course.
So, and if I can jump on any Q&As that you think would be valuable, please. They
all have gold nuggets sprinkled throughout, and I really think that those are such an important part of the academy, because we're able to adapt to what's happening right now, especially in these crazy times. So I just think, if you ever have a free moment, you're like, what should I do with myself? Though you could treat those like a podcast. You could listen to those in the car. You don't need to be looking at our beautiful faces, but it was such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. Well, thank you. And I think you've inspired a lot of people today. So go forth and work on your 5 projects. I won't keep you any longer, but thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Thank you, Betsy.
You've asked for it, and we have answered the call. For years, you've been saying, Betsy, you're talking about all these great design concepts, but we can't visualize them. You're describing the picture that the listener sent in of their problem, and we wish we could see that picture too. After all, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I do my best to describe them, but there's nothing like seeing it for yourself. And that's why Affordable Interior Design, the podcast, now has a YouTube channel. Not only do we have a YouTube channel where you could see recordings and clips of these podcast episodes, we also have an Instagram, a Facebook, and so many other exciting things. You should check it out. Head over to affordableinteriordesign.com/links. Once again, affordableinteriordesign.com/LINKS. links. And when you go there, you will see links to our YouTube page, our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and more. Please check it out. Follow and subscribe so you can see everything I'm talking about. A big thank you to our amazing producer, Catherine Heller, to Aton and the MVCR House Band, and to Affordable Interior Design, the sponsor of this podcast and the premier place to get an amazing look on a budget. Check out affordableinteriordesign.com. If you guys love the show, the very best way to support us is by spreading the word. Tell your friends or write us an awesome review on iTunes. So until next week, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.